YouTube family, we are back with another video, this time a 2K video. Really just, I guess we can say ranting about the difference between 2K players and basketball players, but as the channel starts to transition and we're going to kind of full send into the My Team area of 2K, because I don't feel like people want to see or experience gameplay that involves the rec. I'm just going to go into My Team and test them waters out and see what's over there and see how many 2K players exist in the My Team series, which I'm pretty sure is a lot. But this video is all centered around 2K players and basketball players, and why 2K players are typically harder to guard, or 2K players are typically easier to guard, while basketball players who know how to play 2K are harder to guard, right? And that comes down to, of course, a 2K player is nothing but a spam player. You know what I'm saying? Your typical 2K players are spammy to the point where everybody does the same moves, the same combos, the same shots. I mean, it's so bad now where they all look the same hairstyle, same face paint, same accessories, same sneakers, same face creations. We already know they got the same animations, the same jump shots, the same layups, the same dunks. I mean, 2K players are just a thing amongst themselves, right? And typically they even go down to the same build. The top 3 builds I see that I guard all the time are 3-point shot hunters, floor spacing slashers, and inside out playmakers. And the height ranges are usually from 6'4" to 6'6". Typically you get some outliers like a floor spacing slasher who has like a who's like 6'8", and he's just gonna go downhill the whole entire game and dunk. But 2K players are normally easier to guard because they normally always do the same. They have the same play style and they do the same dribble concept to get to the same shot every game. So the reason why they get easier to guard, in my opinion, is because you play them so much that they all become the same thing. You could play 5 different point guards and they all play the same way in this game. And it all goes based off the build. All you gotta do is look at, especially in the rec. I don't know how it is out in the park because that's just a whole gimmicky experience that I just don't have no desire for. But in the rec, you can tell the type of point guard you have based off of what he averages, essentially. If you get a point guard that averages like 17 points, anything above 15 points a game, you know what type of game it's gonna be. And then you can tell by his teammates. You know, if the telling sign that we have, right, the telling sign that me and my friends have when we play in the rec is if you see about 2 to 3 players with a 90+ steal. Typically you're about to get a zone. Typically that team's point guard is gonna average like 17, 18 points. You know, outliers be like 20. And we know it's about to be a zone and a screen game. I make point guards who are off meta, partially, really the main reason why my point guards are off meta is because my point guards always and will always have perimeter defense and steals, because I don't believe in switching your matchup. I don't believe in, you know, running from your matchup or going all offense so you could sit here and try to cook, as I air quote that, and mess up the flow of the game. If I had to compare a 2K player to a real life player, they would be the Luka Doncic type players and James Harden in his prime type players. Those are 2K players. You know, those are players who hold the ball for the majority of the shot clock, dancing around the screen in order to get their shot off first. And if you clamp them, the team gets blown out because nobody else knows how to react to getting the ball or playing in that manner because they don't know how to play basketball. Typically that team is based around a bunch of 2K players who probably have never experienced or played basketball in any type of situation where they have to adjust to anything. 2K has a badge for them now called Claymore. You know, that's what people are Claymores. And I believe I made a video before where I said, are you a teammate or a space filler? And a space filler is essentially what Claymore is. Like, when you play 2K, and this is a question you need to ask yourself, or you need to kind of realize to yourself, when you play 2K, how many times do you touch the ball? Sometimes, and a lot of times these 2K players feel as though if I pass you the ball, I'm passing it to you for you to get an assist, for me to get an assist, or for you to shoot it. When a basketball player knows that sometimes you just have to give people the ball just so they can feel part of the game. Sometimes they don't need to shoot. Y'all might not even score that possession. He might throw a turnover, but at least he was able to get involved in the game to where now he feels like he's a part of the team, and now he's engaged moving forward. A lot of these guys just literally stand around the perimeter and they just stand there, and they allow their point guard to just go out there and they will dribble 400 times in a game, and then y'all go down 30 and y'all beefing. You know how many games I've been in the rec where the point guard, I'm pretty sure the point guards that I play against expect me to switch off the ball, but then I don't switch off the ball. And then a lot of times these 2K players are used to other 2K players playing defense. So this is where the unbalance of the community comes in, because you have these 2K player defenders who just reach the entirety of the game, don't know about position, don't care about positioning, don't care about playing defense on the non-help side and gearing the opponent to the help side. They don't know anything about that. All they know is my steal is a 99, a 95, a 91, a 93. I'm just going to reach the entirety of this possession and hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? And then you have those type of defenders playing against the 2K player offense of players, whereas literally I'm just going to Jamal Murray behind the back, behind this screen, and shoot this three. I'm going to Jamal Murray behind the back, this screen, and shoot this three. 2K players don't even shoot mid-range shots. 2K players don't even have levels to their scoring. You get what I'm saying? Most 2K players have one play style, and by one play style, it doesn't mean one in its entirety, but it's one thing that they're going to do the entirety of the game, and that's their play style. You have the mid-range slashers, you have the slashing point guards who are typically bigger. You know, those are like the big dudes who 2K24 has already proven that they can't really shoot in the game, so they just like, F it, I'm about to go out and make a all blue build. They just gonna slash the whole game and abuse bulldozer or the contact dunk, precision dunk, or contact dunk, whatever you want to call it, the whole game, and they feel like they're good. Then you have the point guards who are gonna shoot mid-range, but I'm pretty sure that's more in the park than it is in the rec, because you typically, you know, it's frowned upon for mid-range shooters in the rec, but not when your boy shoot one, because I'm like that, you understand? But typically mid-range shots are frowned upon in the rec. Look at me missing that pass. And then you have your patented three-point shot hunters who are going to dance around screens until they can get a three-point shot off, regardless of the coverage, regardless of if they're open. And then they even do the thing where, okay, I'm 0 for 2 right now and I'm clamped, so I'm gonna just throw this roll to the center 3 times, get my takeover, and then go back to trying to yak a 3. Right, that's what they do. It's funny because every time I guard a point guard like that, I always tell the center that I'm playing with, like, yo, just make him throw the roll. I said and my guarantee that I always make to these players or to my center is he won't finish his game with 20 plus assists because he's a 2K player. He's a 2K player. Me, I'd stay finishing games with 20 assists. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a basketball player that plays 2K. You know, it's a difference. Yeah, I mean, next time y'all guarding on ball, somebody's guarding the ball, you're playing, God dog, I just killed him. You're playing a team like that. See if that point guard will get 20 assists, because 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, that point guard is going to stop passing wide open passes and keep chucking because he's a 2K player, not a basketball player. He's not going to make the defense adjust to him. He's just going to try to shoot his way through him being clamped, because he can't afford to be clamped, because he don't build a bunch of yes men around him who's about to just stand there and be claymores while he sit here and get clamped. And those are the best teams to beat, because you can just tell by their play style how salty they are amongst each other. You can tell, because it's just literally flopping starts happening, you know, especially when they zone starting to get busted up because they don't understand the numbers advantage of a zone. And if it's a 2-3 and we're running and we space out in a 5-out set in a 2-3, which means 3 at the top and 2 in the corners, y'all basically playing man-to-man defense. I mean, this is just a little trick for you people out here that watch this video. If they're in the 2-3, which they will be, and you run a 5-out, they're gonna have to play man. If they're in a 3-2 and you run a 5-out, they're in a man defense. They're in a man defense shell now with rotations. You get what I'm saying? But hey, maybe that's another video for another day. Maybe we can break that down in some other fashion at some point in the game. But 2K players that don't have any basketball playing knowledge are just spammers who just do whatever this YouTuber or whoever they learn the game from do, and that's just it. And let's be honest, a lot of this stuff probably comes from real life basketball right now. because real life basketball is not in the space that it used to be. You know, it's a combative statement to say that players of an older era was more skilled than players of a newer era, because like these players are skilled, but their skill is displayed in different fashions. But we can't blame 2K, because like I stated before in my previous 2K rant or video about it, is that this game is probably filled with underdeveloped minds or children 9 times out of 10, and an underdeveloped mind and kids are only going to mimic what they see, with the whole concept being removed from what they're seeing, you know? So when somebody goes and they see Luka Doncic score 47 points and 10 assists with 10 rebounds, and watch Luka do it, and Luka's just sitting here ISOing with a step back 3, they're going to try to mimic that and come into this game and realize that you're not Luka Doncic. 2, you're not playing in the NBA, and somebody's not going for that. Right? Granted, in real life, they have taken away the stance to play defense. Like, they make defending harder in real life, which is probably why 2K will give the offensive player 47 badges and the defensive player has 3 that he has to rely on: clamps, glove, and interceptor. You know, they tried to give us some new ones like 94 feet and fast feet and all that other stuff, but in order to get them fast feet things up to a point where you'll stop somebody, you're gonna sacrifice so much on your player that you're gonna be useless. And so we get stuck in this situation where 2K players typically tend to get more wins than they ever should, because the game is catered for them to get their wins. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure I left stuff out. I had to cut this short because the video was only 15 minutes long and I didn't really want to bore you really, but I feel like I covered the majority of 2K players, and the fact that a 2K player and a basketball player, 2K tries to put those two people on teams together and it never works out 9 times out of 10, because you need 5 basketball players in order to make in order to beat people. But instead they'll give you 2 basketball players, which is normally going to be you and your squad, with 2 other 2K players, where now it's a clash because y'all icing each other out and not giving each other the ball, and now y'all just internally getting blown out by a bunch of bums in a wreck. But that's why I'm moving on to my team, where I can be in full control of everything, and I hope you guys follow me over there and get ready for that series, because that series is starting soon. But until then, I'm signing out.